Well, hello and welcome. And we're here to talk about a very exciting rebate program offered to Denver County residents in the city of Denver, the largest rebate program that has ever been offered for heating and air conditioning. So if you're in somebody that's in the market for a furnace, an air conditioner, a mini split, anything, a boiler, whatever it may be, pay attention because you have an opportunity to get lots of dollars off today. And we're going to talk about how you qualify, how to know what you can qualify for, and how to know how to qualify for the most amount of money available. And to do that today, we have with us the CEO of Now Heating and Air. And I'm going to let him introduce himself and talk a little bit about Now Heating and Air, how long you guys have been in business and everything. So Sam, take it away.
Hi, Sam Johnstone here with Now Heating and Air. We've been family owned and operated since 1998.
Love it. And you are a family owned business. You've been in business for a long time. These are important things to remember, but let's jump right in today to let everybody know if they qualify and how to know if this rebate program is available for them. So let's jump right into this, Sam. I'm going to throw up an image for you. And why don't we talk about a little bit about what people need to know about qualifying for this amazing program here in Denver?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I mean, it starts first. You have to be a resident in the city and county of Denver, and you have to be an Xcel Energy customer. That's a gas and electric customer. Um, the it's for single family homes or multifamily homes with 4 units or less. Does not apply to commercial or any commercial applications, just residential.
Love it. So it's pretty simple. You need to reside in the county of Denver, in Denver. You need to be an Excel customer. And then you also need to have equipment that qualifies. And this is where things get a little more complicated. We're not going to dive deep into it, but we want to let you know that you're covered through a complimentary consultation to know exactly how much you qualify. And there's one thing I want to touch on too about this rebate program that is way different. You said, Sam, that there's a city of Denver rebate, but then there's also the Excel rebate. Talk about how you can sometimes combine those two to even get more money off.
Yeah, absolutely. So Danny, the rebate program, the one we're talking about, is from the city and county of Denver. The totals don't add with the XL Energy rebates that you may be eligible for as well. It does have the same qualifications as the XL Energy program. So anything's going to qualify for the XL Energy program will be the products for the Denver program as well. The amounts do differ and change, and whether it be a heat pump or whether it be an air source or ground source heat pump, as well as the ductless mini splits. So depending on what type of unit you're going to go in with your home, there's going to be a rebate for just about every application.
I love it, and obviously there's no denying that a big reason for this is efficiency. They're really trying to get rid of a lot of inefficient products in people's homes, and they're willing to put out $40 million for this program. And even though that seems like a lot of money, Sam, what happens when this money runs out?
Yeah, that's the it does sound like a lot of money, but it's going to go fast just because of the amount of the rebates. Our rebate program starts at 9 grand for just the city of Denver rebate, as well as the XL Energy. Their money's not running out. Their rebate plan will probably continue until next year. But the $9,000 or the mini split rebate for 40 or $5,400. I get those numbers a little
Yeah.
confused. But both those rebates, they're only going to continue until the money ends. Um, and after estimating and doing the math a little bit, it's probably going to be a very short period of time, and I doubt we'll get into the summer before that rebate program actually ends. So being proactive and trying to capture these rebates ahead of time is real important.
Yeah, so if you are a resident in Denver and you live in the city or the county of Denver and you're an Excel Energy customer and you live in a single family residence, meaning that it's just your home, you really need to schedule a consultation because again, these dollar amounts can be different depending on what you have, and you're really going to need a comfort advisor to come out and let you know. And again, Sam, these consultations that you do, and I do have a QR code right below me that you can scan and go right to the website to schedule that consultation. This consultation can be through Zoom or in person, right?
Absolutely. So the first thing we'll do is if it's something that a Denver resident is just checking into and just trying to learn more about, they'll call in and we'll make an appointment with one of our comfort advisors. Comfort advisor then will reach out, kind of talk to the customer a little bit, find their wants, their needs, what they have currently, um, and as well just to make sure everything's going to qualify. Then from that point, we could either do an in-person consultation or we can continue over the phone consultation just to kind of get rough numbers so that somebody knows, what their out of pocket would be, after the $9,000 rebate or the $10,000 rebate, after XL rebate, and then they got a better understanding of their actual cost. Once that once we've already done that consultation over the phone, at some point we still will need to come to the home and just make sure whatever equipment we're choosing is going to be the equipment that's actually going to fit for that home. There's a few things we have to do when we change up equipment or change sizes or just even evaluate what you had currently. We have to do a few things like a sizing calculator to make sure what we're going back in with is going to work efficiently, and of course, the performance will be there for the homeowners.
And again, that's a big reason why you guys have been in business for so long and have such great reviews, is because you go through the process to make sure that the details work out and the customer is getting the right amount of equipment. And kind of the last big things I want to focus on for this rebate program is, when we think about rebates as consumers, oftentimes we think, hey, we need to go through this process and we need to, I hate sending mail. Who doesn't, right? Like, it's so antiquated, but we need to put something in mail and we need to send it away and we're going to get X amount of dollars back in 6 or 8 weeks. But as a consumer, we forwarded the money. In this case, it's talk about how it's the contractor's responsibility to go after the money. As a consumer, you're going to let me know what I have to pay out of pocket if there is any out of pocket of expense. I pay you that, and then you as a contractor, you go out and take care of the rest, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's this is what's nice about this program. A lot of our programs in the past, homeowners have had to do the cumbersome work of sending in the applications, making sure the signature's on the right spot, make sure the I's and T's are crossed. With this particular system, it's an instant rebate. I'm going to go after the city and county of Denver or XL Energy and collect the rebate, and they'll pay me back personally. The homeowner, you get it. It's an instant deduction just right off the invoice. So the invoice amount minus the rebates, that's all you pay. We will ask you to make sure the rebate qualifies. That's our job. Before we even start the project, they'll print off all the qualifications for the products and make sure that everything qualifies. And when everything's said and done with, you don't have to do any submissions. One signature on one XL Energy form, and it's done.
It sounds super easy, sounds super simple. So if you are out there and you're considering really upgrading your system, you should really make the call today, because again, timing is of the essence. When that $40 million runs out, you will not be getting this money off of your current system or your upgrade. So again, visit nowha.com, it's below me, or use that QR code below to go to the website and schedule that complimentary consultation to find out if you can qualify for these amazing rebates and get a whole bunch of money off of your next heating or cooling repair. So Sam, thanks for really being here today and adding value to that, because it was confusing, but I think we really broke it down in a great way.
Thank you, Danny.
So let's talk a little bit about service. So we touched on it briefly about really what it takes for a complimentary consultation process. But for anybody that's new with Now Heating and Air, they might be finding this video after the fact, meaning they've already scheduled an appointment or they're curious how this works. How does your complimentary consultation process work if somebody calls and they need you to come out?
Well, it starts with that phone call. You'll talk to one of our comfort specialists. At that point, when they qualify you, then we'll wind up coming out to your home. There's two ways we can do that too. There's some customers that if they fear that they've contracted the coronavirus, then we can do a Zoom or even pictures. As long as we get enough information, we can set forth a proposal so that it has options for the customers. Now, generally, when those comfort consultants do that, whether it be in person or on a Zoom, they will give the customer multiple options. It generally won't be one option unless the customer only asks for one option, but they'll give them the different tiers of equipment, showing them which one might be more beneficial for their home, and then the differences between the rebates.
I love it. So you're gonna come out. It's either gonna be Zoom if they have some COVID concerns, but then eventually you're gonna come out. You're gonna make sure they have the right equipment, and then you're gonna give every customer a 3-tier sort of proposal, unless they say, "Hey, I know what I want. Give me this one thing." And that's to me different kind of budgets, needs, different kind of requirements. Maybe some of that good, better, or best when it comes to how you're gonna step in, because we know a lot of the times the HVAC business can be kind of a money game, right? Who's gonna be the cheapest? And at the end of the day, you want your customers to know, hey, whatever your budget is, wherever it comes in financially, we want to make sure you have the right system that fits for your home and fits for your budget at the same time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, a lot of our customers are electing to go with the ductless mini splits. And the reason why is because the cost of the mini split is almost the same amount as the rebate amount. Now, Denver will only do up to 80% of the total. So if we were getting a $5,400 rebate, we couldn't buy a piece of equipment that was $5,400 and it would be a zero balance. It's only 80% of the cost of the unit. Now, that doesn't include the rebate that comes from Excel. So that particular program, you would wind up with a $4,500 rebate from Denver, and then you get an additional $500 back from Excel Energy. The 80% doesn't include that additional amount. So if the amount 80%, so that's about $1,000 after the Excel Energy rebate. You're about $500 out of pocket on that particular system that we're using as an example. So people that don't have a larger budget to buy real high-end equipment, that's a great alternative for heating and cooling for those Denver residents that had a smaller budget.
I love it. And that's, in my opinion, I think that's the right thing to do, right? Make sure that there's a budget for everybody. Not everybody is financially created equal, right? Some of us, we need to have the best. Some of us, we just need something that works and gets us by because we've got kids and other expenses in life. And I love that as a company, you're committed to making sure that the tiers are available and people can come in where they feel comfortable. Because at the end of the day, more than anything, you want to service that customer, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, not all homes and not all budgets are equal, and we pretty much have a piece of equipment for just about everybody.
I love it. And, we talked a little bit about these Mitsubishi splits. And, when it comes to some reasons why you might consider working with Now Heating and Air over some of the other companies that you could work with in the Denver area, we really want to touch on something unique. You yourself are a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite dealer. And to everyone else, that might seem like some cool award you got because you spent enough money. But at the end of the day, this really transfers to a really great warranty 5 years above anybody that doesn't have that sort of Mitsubishi Diamond Elite status. Talk about that Diamond Elite status that you have and how it extends that warranty so much more for your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the elite status. I mean, yeah, it does sound like a wonderful branding for a Mitsubishi dealer, but what that means is, as a Mitsubishi dealer, we do the factory trainings every single year and make sure we're up to date on all the new stuff that's coming out, and including all the proper service or proper installation that we need to do to make these units last. In fact, the reason why they started this program is because when it's installed correctly, these units will last sometimes 2 or 3 times longer than if they were not installed correctly. Pipe sizing, unit sizing, the way they're set outside or set inside on the walls, clearances from the ceiling, clearances from the walls. If it's not installed correctly, it's going to have a shorter life. So when it is installed by Now Heating and Air, our standard warranty on a Mitsubishi unit is 7 years, but when it's installed and registered by our company, all of our customers wind up with a 12-year warranty instead of a 7-year warranty.
which is pretty substantial when it comes to that 5 year gap that you don't have to worry about your Mitsubishi product. So again, that is because you guys do great work. That's because you go through the steps that are needed to make sure that that equipment not only function great, but it functions better, which is going to allow it to last a lot longer. So it sounds like if they go get another Mitsubishi product from somebody that doesn't have that actual status, that Diamond Elite status, then after 7 years, the cost can come back to them. So I think that's really cool that you guys offer that. You guys keep up that kind of credentials and that status as you kind of move through, and it shows in a lot of things that you do. So lastly, I just really want to talk a lot about your history and your experience. You've been around for a long time. You say 1996?
1998.
1998. I was so close. You've been around since 1998, family owned. It's still a lot of family within there. But over that time, you've acquired a lot of fantastic reviews, a lot of happy customers that have gone through your business and worked with your company. Talk about these 5-star reviews, 1,100 5-star reviews you have, and why you think your company keeps getting amazing reviews.
Well, it's been a lot of hard work since 1998. We've gone through all the bumps and curves in the road, but it just boils down to great customer service. Our customer service, we train on it every week. Are we perfect? No, we're not perfect, but we strive every day to be as perfect as we can be. The reviews, that we get, we do work hard with doing the proper installations. Another reason why we receive awards every single year is because the type of installations we do. Being factory trained helps out considerably. A lot of our representatives from all the factories, whether it be Mitsubishi or Lennox or Trane or American Standard or even our Frigidaire products, we get factory training where they come to our facility and they train our guys in our own home. It makes a difference when you have to go outside to get this additional training. It's a little more difficult. And with our company, because of the size of our company, we have the ability to get those reps in our office, in our training facility, so that we can get all of our staff in front of them, all at once.
Yeah, so it sounds like that those 1,100 5-star reviews really come from the fact that you do the right things the right way. Your staff is really trained by the factory, the people that are designing these products that know the best way to really install these products, and that's what really has came to these 1,100 5-star reviews. And again, the A+ Better Business Bureau rating, which shows that you've not had any of those huge complaints, or you've been a pretty reputable company this entire time. So congratulations to you guys and your hard work. And when you talk about being a bigger company, there's also one large benefit that a consumer really needs to know when it comes to being the size that you are. In traditional HVACs, if somebody isn't your size, how it'll work is they'll come to your house, they'll give you a proposal, they'll tell you what equipment might be a right fit for you, they'll get you to sign on the dotted line, but what happens next is that's when they actually place the order for the equipment. So in COVID, I'm sure that was a big disaster as equipment was hard to come about, but they place the order for equipment. They have to wait for the equipment to come in and even schedule that install. Talk about how you guys warehouse your equipment and how that can turn into some next day setups for clients if they really need it.
Absolutely. One of the nice things about our company is we do warehouse and we do stock just about 90% of everything we install. So we're not waiting for manufacturers or waiting to receive something, find out it's damaged in the shipping of it. And then having to call a customer and let them know, hey, we damaged your equipment got damaged during shipping. Now we got to put you out. Everything's in stock. It also makes our teams more efficient because everything's in stock. We can stage everything, the day before the install so that everything's in place and ready to go. Nothing is missed. It also allows us to, when we purchase stuff, as time goes by, especially the last year or two, we've been noticing more and more price increases. In fact, in the last 15 months, we have gone through about 30% in a price increase in 4 or 5 different occasions. So when we buy the equipment and put it in our warehouse, it also is able to lock us in pricing. We don't have to worry about what the cost is that particular day. Where the shortages are with specific pieces of equipment. And that's the other thing some obstacles we had to get over is waiting for equipment. We got equipment last summer that took us about 3 or 4 months, and if we didn't have the stuff in stock, the customer would have had to wait 3 or 4 months in order to get an air conditioner or a furnace system put in. Um,
Yeah, go ahead and finish.
Yeah, and so then the other thing, so in that not only with the air conditioning and furnace equipment, it's the coils, it's the copper lines, it's the small parts that it takes to put the systems together. It's even refrigerant. There was even a refrigerant shortage at one time where nobody had any refrigerant, um, and with our warehouse, we're able to maintain that. In fact, our stock is good for about 3 months. So for about 3 to 4 months behind and waiting for some equipment, it's not going to impact our customers at all.
Yeah, and again, that's a huge differentiator. Again, you talk about you don't have to be in your industry or in any industry to understand that we had those issues where supply wasn't there. So products that used to be X amount of dollars all of a sudden were X amount of dollars and no control of your own. And you're right, that's a benefit to your customers. When you have it on hand, you have it in stock, you know what you paid for it. So if you do a quote, 2 months from now, you know that 2 months ago you already have that equipment in stock and you get to quote that price that you got 2 months ago. So inadvertently, it sounds like that your planning sometimes can save customers hundreds or even at times thousands of dollars because you guys decide to do it this way, right?
No, absolutely. No, the customer does. They have the ability to take advantage of the pricing that we did in the past.
Yeah.
That what we paid for the equipment, and it didn't doesn't you don't have to get subjected to the new price increases as they start to come forward. Yes, we're going to have price increases, and we're going to have price increases as we replenish our stock. But yeah, it definitely helps our customers tremendously. The other thing it does is we're not, when we run out of something, we we sometimes will compromise and get a different product that's a lesser product than what our customer wanted. And that was the problem a couple of years ago when we had in 2020 where we couldn't get equipment and we were compromised to whatever they wanted to manufacture. Our manufacturing plants got short staffed and they weren't able to build the equipment in time. So then they started just managing their time with just building the stuff that's common. So like what we put in a new home, like we call it builder equipment, but it's just basic equipment. It's the cheapest equipment that we could possibly get our hands on, and it only gave our customers that one option. From that point on, that's when we decided, well, we need to start making sure we have more options for all of our customers.
Yeah, and again, it's the right thing to do. And again, that's why you have the 1,100 5-star reviews and the A+ rating. It's because you consider to do the right things for the right reasons. And that's why you've still been around since 1998, kind of serving Denver. But, we talked a lot about heating there. We talked a lot about furnaces and all that stuff. What are the other big things that your company offers and your company really can service the community with?
Well, I mean, there's a few other services we do. That we don't talk a whole lot about, like our whole house duct cleaning. So we do duct cleaning, whether it be commercial, residential. We've been doing that for about 15 years, not since we started, but we've still been doing it for quite some time. Um, the other thing we do, it doesn't have apply to these rebates, but we also install boiler systems, indirect systems, and of course high efficiency uh, water heaters. Now the rebate program, and we didn't touch on this, but I just want to mention it. We do have rebate programs for what they call a heat pump water heater. It's very similar to a regular heat pump, air source heat pump or ground source heat pump. It transfers the heat from the air and takes it and puts it right into the water. So you're not using natural gas to heat your domestic water. You're actually using what they consider a heat pump. Now that rebate's very large as well. Um, the the other products that we sell in a lot of course, is the mini splits. The mini splits, they're getting to be huge in the market. People are realizing that when they have a specific zone in each room, that the energy they might use 20% of the energy they would normally use because they're not heating and cooling those rooms when they're not occupied. So they're getting to be real huge as well.
Yeah, it makes sense from an efficiency standpoint, especially if you're alone and you've got 4 bedrooms or a basement that you don't need to heat, or you can not do that and save lots of money during the process. So again, if you want to learn more about Now Heating and Air, and learn more about these rebates, or learn more about any of these other services that you see below, air duct cleaning, water heaters, boilers, the whole nine, then you can visit nowha.com to do that and schedule your consultation with a heating and cooling expert to kind of come out to your house and do that. So Sam, thanks again today for talking a little bit about the rebate program, talking about how that consultation process works, and then really highlighting some of those real unique identifiers about what a customer should really consider when they're choosing a company, and how you can really help out as a large organization some of those customers as well. So thanks again for your time today. We appreciate you kind of being a valuable resource in this community. We love you, man.
Thank you, Danny.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.